way. Uh, Listening from Lagos, from Ikeja, from Ogun State, from just you can do that for us if you can. Thank you very much. So we'll be looking at the festive season and your heart part two. We looked at part one yesterday. I mean, the last time we met, that was 2 weeks ago. We're going to continue today on the part two. Uh, and today we're going to really focus on maximizing the festive period to your advantage. Maximizing the festive period to your advantage. But before we do that, I would like to just go through some of the things we looked at, during the last session, so that those who are joining us for the first time can have, an holistic view of what we're talking about, and then we can move on to today's main issue. So, number one, we said that the festive season is a special, colorful, celebratory and joyous season, often marked with holiday. It's usually a time of merriment and it is activity filled. So many activities going on at the same time. It's a season that brings people together to share joy, gifts, and memorable moments. And, a lot of things go on during this period. And, for us to really be able to capture everything we're saying, or we're talking about, you can listen to the first session of this particular episode that was done 2 weeks ago. Now, peculiarities of this festive season, it's a season with increased activities, increased buying, increased visitation, increased traveling, increased, activities, in every form. Number two, it's a season of increased excitement in the air, so many things going on, increased visitation, increased feasting, eating and drinking. I mean, the word festive connotes to us that there will be feasting. All right. Festive and feasting actually go together. Festivity and feasting go together. And so, it's a period of increased feasting, eating and drinking, making merriment. It's also, a season of increased sedentary moments. People, go on break, go on leave. You have more time to be at home and things like that. You don't need to rush to work. You don't need to move in and out, do so many things. It's a period of increased sedentary moments. It also a season of increased exchange of gifts. And for you to buy gifts, of course, you've got to go, out. You've got to either order online or go to the stores where it is. So many things going on. In the midst of all of this, it's been found out that cardiac mortality is higher around Christmas and New Year. The study reports that more cardiac deaths occur in the US on December 25th than any other day of the year, followed by December 26th and January 1st. December 25th and 26th, we have gone past that. To God be the glory. Yes, there were, for those of us who work in the medical sector, we know that, admissions tend to increase this season. I mean, if you are on call, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, so many phone calls. Oh, we have this new admission. Oh, they just brought this person. Oh, this, oh, that. So while activities are increasing, a lot of morbidity, illnesses and mortality also increases. All right. And we need to, be aware that heart attack deaths spike during the winter holiday. And it's said that the American Heart Association urges people to be aware of and reduce risk for deadly holiday heart attacks. And these are things we need to be aware of also. Not only that, even in the, Britain, it's been found out almost the same thing. Christmas, national holidays, sports events, and time factors as triggers of acute myocardial infarction. In this study, it was found out that there was 15% overall increase in heart attacks during the winter holidays. Of particular note, heart attacks increased at 7% on December 24th, that's Christmas Eve, peaking at 10 PM, and more often in people older than 75 years old, 75 years, and those with diabetes and previous cardiovascular disease. This is instructive. I mean, pen down in the US, pen down in similar thing noticed in the UK in this 3D art observational study. And we also know that in our climate here, this story is not different. Admissions get increased as the festive period approaches. A lot of things go on. We have more cases of heart failure, more cases of stroke, more cases of heart attack, and of late this month, specifically, in the unit where I work, we had more influx of pulmonary embolism. And I was just talking with my doctors, that what's going on. I mean, on a particular day, we had about two or three. In a week, a particular week, I think that was 2 weeks ago, we had about five, presenting to the emergency. And I had to ask, our colleagues that what's going on. It seems as if there is a spike, in pulmonary embolism. So these things are real and we need to know them. So, what are the cardiovascular risk factors during festive period? Number one, increased intake of salty meals. We know that many people, I mean, you want to make the food very tasty and all the rest, and as a result of that, more seasonings are added, more salt, and all of that, and that increases cardiovascular risk for cardiovascular events. Increased intake of sugary and sweetened drinks also increases, inflammation risk for inflammation, and increases risk for cardiovascular events as well. Increased stress, financial pressures. How do I get this? How do I meet this target? How do I get this for this person? And then, pressures from the family, uncle, please help me send this, uncle, we're waiting for our Christmas gift and everything, financial pressures, travel plans, you make plans to travel here and there, social events, you want to attend this one, you want to attend that one, many people put, a lot of activities around this period, family dynamic strain, uncle, you have not come to visit us. Daddy, we want to see, we want to go for this, we want to go for that, and all of that. So many things happening at the same time. Increased intake of saturated and trans fats. This is also, the period where many people we fry things, we eat so many things, we eat cakes, we take ice cream and all of that. These things are not bad on their own. We're just saying that taking it too much, going a bit further than it should be, can bring stress to our heart, can bring some, unforeseen and untoward, of events and occasions into the person that is involved or indulging in all of this. So we're saying that cut down on it, and I mean that will help. And all of this will bring about increased weight gain. I mean, increased weight with increased meal, increased sugary intake, increased cake and ice cream and all the rest, and reduced physical activity. There will be increased weight gain more often than not. When people go on holiday around this period, when they get back to work, or when it's January and things like that, and they get back and they weigh themselves, usually they tend to increase in weight. And of course, we know that obesity, increased weight, can also, predispose to cardiovascular disease. Increased intake of alcohol and toxic substances. People want to explore, especially the youths, want to explore this, want to explore that, want to take this for the first time, want to take that for the first time, and, which can be deleterious to their health, okay? Increased poor adherence to medications. People go on merriment, they go leave on in the morning, come back in the evening. By the time it's evening or night, they're tired, they skip their drug and they say, well, it doesn't matter, it's just one day. The next day, oh, it's just one day. The next moment, maybe they take it this other day, and then the next one and the next one, they may say, oh, it's just one day. So increased poor adherence to medication, at this time is very, very high. All right, increased sedentary lifestyle, lack of exercise, you just want to relax, you want to watch movies, you want to go for this and go for that, you receive visitors, you chat for a long time, you speak for a long time, and all of those things, which are not bad on themselves, on their own, but it can increase, sedentary moments, and that is not too good for us. Then postponing presentation dates. I mean, people, nobody wants to spend, a major event, a major date in the hospital. Oh no, when Christmas, I mean, when it's after Christmas, I'll go to the hospital because I don't know now. The doctor may want to admit me. I don't want to spend the night, in the hospital. I don't want to spend my Christmas in the hospital, and so as a result of that, they wouldn't present. And then after Christmas and Boxing Day, the person will say, let me just see the new year. I don't want to cross over to the new year in the hospital. Let me hold on. Let me wait. Let me take this. Let me do that. And so they postpone presentation dates. All right. And by the time they eventually present in the hospital, they've moved very far, to the point that for some people you have to battle, to save their lives, and we don't want that for people. So, postponing presentation date is also a risk factor here. So, what do we do? How do we, come across as people who want to, make sure these things don't affect us? How can we maximize the festive period? What are the tips to staying healthy? What are the tips to guarding your heart, making sure that you are cardiovascularly, sound and healthy? It's very important that we know this, and this is the meat of the matter. All of those that have, talked about this just to bring us to speed for those who did not join us during the first episode of this particular topic. So, tips to staying healthy. Very important. Reduce your salt intake. It is possible to make your meal very delicious and yet not as salty as you would have loved it to be. It is possible to reduce salt intake and still enjoy your meal. So, number one, reduce salt. And you know what? One thing about it is this, that to reduce our salt intake and we go on in this, our taste bud also adjusts, will adjust to it. So reduce your salt intake. Make use of salt substitutes. You can use potassium chloride salt. Okay, potassium chloride tends to have a very big advantage. All right, we will advocate this for those who do not have kidney problems. Please, if you have kidney issues, don't go on this route. Make sure you see your doctor. Let your doctor certify that you can take potassium chloride salt before you indulge in it. Because with kidney problem, there can be increased potassium level in the body, and I mean it has own risk that it can bring to the person. So potassium chloride salt can be an alternative, which is not bad at all. You wouldn't miss the taste of the meal, and it will still come out good. And then naturally occurring salt substitutes and spices. People talk of ginger, garlic, cumin, turmeric, nutmeg, basil, cinnamon, parsley, and all those. Our mummies in the house, can lecture us better on this. So you can change it, you can experiment. These are the period to do good experimentations, and then be able to enjoy your meal. Very important. Eat less salt. The message hasn't changed. Eat less salt. Very, very important. All right. It's important that we also up our game with regards to lifestyle modification. Don't drop your guard. All right. Reduce consumption of processed meats. Okay, very, very important. Or stored things. We need to reduce consumption of such things, processed meat, especially red meat. All right, these are the times that people will indulge in it. We're not saying it's bad, that you cannot take a bite. We're saying that, in all things, let us be circumspect. Let us, do it in moderation. Cut it down. Processed meat, shaki, momo, roundabout, isiewu, gongo, and all of those things, we need to cut them down, reduce them. It's for your heart's sake. Invest in your heart at this time. Reduce intake of fat, cholesterol rich food. exercise regularly. And this is very, very important. That the fact that we're in, festive period should even give you an opportunity to exercise more. All right, we will come to that a bit later. Smoking cessation, very important. Increase your intake of fruits, vegetables, all grains, and nuts. It's very, very important. You know, don't just indulge in cake and cream and ice cream alone. Take fruits. You can do, I mean, fruit pie. You can do fruit ice cream, and all of that. It's very good, for us to try as much as possible, innovate. What can you do with the fruits you have? Buy some. And they are not everything is expensive. Just buy a little portion of this, and then do it together, instead of buying the processed juice, the five alive. You can make five alive in your house. If you bring five fruits together, you blend them, that's five alive. You can go ahead and do 10 alive. Get 10 fruits with nuts and and other things, and blend them together. That's 10 alive. You can make 20 alive. You can make as many alive as possible as you want. Very, very important. So do experiment with things this season and see how things can come up for you. People talk of fruitcake and all of that. You can do some things, reduce, the saturated and the trans fats in it, and use other things to do it. And, just experiment, explore, and come out with something good. And it can be an activity for the family. Everybody will enjoy it, everybody will have fun, and everybody will eat healthy. Limit intake of sweet, sugary, sweetened beverages. We can't say it enough. Cut down on sugary things, especially as we get older. We need to cut down on them. I know it's difficult. Sometimes some people merely seeing that, that bottle, that soda bottle, that either Coke or Pepsi or this or that, their body begin to crave for it. But you can substitute it. You can put water beside you. As you are craving, you drink a little water. So that even when you want to take that soft drink, you have less space to take it, and so less quantity to consume. All right. You can put your smoothie beside you, and while you are desiring to take that beverage, that sweetened beverage, you can gulp a bit more of your smoothies first. That will fill you a little bit, and then you can take a little, quantity of the one that you would have naturally taken, the refined ones, the processed one, and then you take just a bit of it. It would have reduced the quantity that you will take. Very important. Take healthy beverages as well. Dark chocolate is good for your heart. Cocoa drink is good. Green tea is good. Take healthy beverages. These are things that will help our heart health. Very, very important. And of course, aim for a healthy weight. As much as possible, aim for a healthy weight. All right. Look, monitor your BMI, your body mass index. Body mass index is weight divided by height squared. That's your weight in kilogram divided by your height in meters divided by your height again. So weight divided by height divided by height. Weight, I mean, divided by height squared. All right, you will get your BMI. So aim for a healthy weight. BMI of 20 to 24.9 is considered good, is good. BMI of 25 to 29.9 is, overweight. All right. And 30 and above, the person is obese. So how do you get your healthy weight? Your BMI times your height squared. So your BMI, if you are aiming for 24.9, for example, and you are 1.65, you'll do 24.9, which is your BMI, times 1.65, which is your height, times another 1.65, which is your height. That will give you your ideal weight, the weight that is ideal for your height. All right, you can do that, and if you know, and then you can know the weight that you should be in, and then measure yourself, whatever may be the difference. That is what you should try and deal with. So emphasize on this. All right, fruits and vegetables, all grains, healthy sources of protein, fish, seafood, legumes, nuts. All right, low fats. free fat dairy products, all right, liquid plant oils. We've talked of this before. Soya, oil, canola oil, olive oils, the oil that don't solidify. Take more of those and minimize beverages and food with added sugar, ultra processed food, processed meat, food high in salt, alcoholic beverages, tropic oils. Cut down on them. This will help us in so many ways to attain good health and to gift our heart with good health. Very important. We are what we eat. So, what do you eat? You can decide that, while you take, your normal meal, you garnish it with a lot of fruits, with a lot of fibers, with a lot of, vegetables and the rest. And of course, inculcate exercise into your daily routine as much as possible. All right. And of course, do more of water. If you want to take Coke, take water first so that the quantity of Coke you will take or the quantity of soda you will take will reduce. This is another option. This this food consumption of all of this will add to our weight, add to your cholesterol level, add to the chances, the risk of coming down with cardiovascular problems, and we don't want that. So please let us try as much as possible during this season. Set a goal for yourself. I'm going to do this. I'm going to achieve this. I'm going to achieve that. I'm going to gift my heart with good health and good practices. I'm going to make healthy choices to gift my heart at this point. During this period. That is extremely important. Increase your physical activity. We've talked about it. When you increase your physical activity, it will improve your mental health, your quality of life, your well-being. 30 minutes for 5 days per week will help. All right. And, it will reduce the risk of diabetes, coming down with diabetes, reduce the risk of coming down with hypertension. If you're hypertensive, your blood pressure control will be better. All right. For those who exercise, their blood pressure control tends to be better. They have less risk of coming down with heart attack, coming down with stroke, coming down with diabetes. If they are diabetic, they are using their drugs and doing all the other things that the doctors advise them to do, the blood sugar control will be good. All right. And if it's saying that, oh, I don't have time to exercise, I don't have time to exercise, this is the time. This is this period where, if you're on break and you're not going to walk, please try your best to exercise. Give yourself, you can do, 30 minutes walk, you can jog, you can go for outdoor, activities, outdoor sports and things like that. These things will help our heart. And of course, it will cut down obesity and overweight. We've talked of sit less, walk more. So during this period that maybe you want to watch a movie, it's 2 hours movie or 3 hours movie, you can watch it, but intermittently stand up. All right. After maybe 30 minutes or 45 minutes, you can take a walk, 10 minutes. You don't need to put off your device right there where you are watching your program. You can walk, pace up and down. You can jog. You can skip while watching your movie. You can decide that you and your friend that has come to visit you take a walk. Oh, let's move to the garden. Oh, let's walk. Let's stroll. And it will increase your step count. Okay, remember 10,000 steps. Ideal per day for those who want to keep their heart healthy, and it's possible. All right, while you're watching things with your friends or alone, you can do some physical activities as well. So sit less, move more, and keep fit. Very, very important. Light physical activity, moderate, vigorous physical activities, and then you can do cardiovascular, respiratory fitness. Go for the more, vigorous ones, and that will increase your cardiovascular health. Very, very important. So sit less. Okay, sit less. Very important. And while at work as well, you go to work by 8, you close by 4 or 5. You're busy on your table. Intermittently stand up and take 10 minutes break. Walk around. Keep fit. instead of taking the elevator, take the staircase. Instead of parking very close to um the entry to your office, or the entry to the building of your office, park a bit far away and walk the remaining distance. That will help you. Sit less, walk more. Sit less, do more physical activities. Get involved in more physical activities. That is going to help your heart in a very, 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 very great deal. All right. Health benefits of exercise: it reduces blood pressure, it reduces inflammation, reduces body weight. All right, so you can shed weight by exercising. And then there's this misconception. People think that, oh, it's only those who want to lose weight that should exercise. No, 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 no. You can keep healthy by exercising. You can keep fit by exercising. It will, you don't necessarily need to shed weight. It's not only for those who are obese. No, everyone should exercise. Get your heart working, get your legs working, get your hands moving. It will help blood circulation. It will reduce stress. It will release good hormones into your body. All right, it increases the release of dopamine, the release of endorphins, things, well-being, satisfactory hormones that will bring about well-being for you. It will reduce plaque plaque risk of rupture. It will improve stuff and make things to go well. All right, it will make quality, improve your sleep quality. You want to sleep well, exercise, and it will be well. Insulin sensitivity will improve, and your body's ability to take care of sugar will improve. Okay, it will improve the workings in your heart. Very, very important. Exercise, we cannot overemphasize it. It's extremely important for us to know. Use the period to rest well as well. Rest well, yes, you need to rest. Good sleep is still very, very important. All right, so take time to rest. Take time to rest. While you rest, also take time to do physical exercise and things like that. Deal with negative emotions. And this period is a period that you can use to deal with negative emotions. Visit friends, visit people, do things that you will naturally love, just to make sure that negative emotions are dealt with. Stress management is important as well. We've talked about the fact that, exercise is one of the means of reducing stress. Of course, going on break is a stress management strategy. All right, visiting friends, cultivating positive emotions, be cheerful and make room for humor. You can put a movie that will make you to laugh, make you to just get excited. All right, cultivate positive emotions, and make room for humor. Bond with loved ones. That's another way of maximizing this period. Bond with loved ones. Okay, that will help. You can do exercise together as a family. Okay, you do work out together as a family. You play a game that will make everybody to move around. All right, if, for example, you get to a park, you have your ball with you. You can throw to one another. If you know how to play football, you can play with the family. You can have a team. If you don't, you can throw the ball to one another. Just have a good time to unwind, and also make sure that physically you're not getting sedentary. You are getting active to maintain good balance and good health for yourself. Reduce or stop alcohol and energy drinks. Of course, know your numbers. While we're celebrating, don't lose track of your numbers, your pulse rate, your blood pressure, your blood sugar, your cholesterol level. Especially if you have hypertension, please check your blood pressure. Please especially because we know that more activities now. We've talked of the risk factors. The risk factors can push up your blood pressure. So please check your numbers. If you are diabetic, or you have a family history of diabetes, or you have been told that you are pre-diabetic, please check your blood sugar. Very, very important. And after this festive period, please go check your cholesterol level. All right, that is also something that you should do. That will be very, very good. So the next thing is to maintain good drug adherence. Please take your drugs. Don't lose it. Don't let activities of the day, activities of the season make you to forget taking your drugs. Build your drug intake into your activity. Okay, practice what is called habit stabbing. Put it together, and we have discussed that before. All right, once you want to take your breakfast, put your drug beside you. Your breakfast is not complete until you take your drug. Make that to be your principle. Or when you get to work, once if you are still working, if you're working, once you get to work, before I start attending to the day, once I get to work, the next thing I'm going to do is to take my drugs. If you know that you cannot take it at home, that you'll be getting late, you cannot, or you leave very, very early, carry your drug in your bag, in your suitcase, go with it to work. When you get to work, the first thing you should do, take your drug beside you. Take your drug beside you. Will help to reduce cardiovascular risk, prevent and slow down disease progression, prevent development of complications, prevent risk of hospitalization and rehospitalization. We don't want people to finish having a good time during this season, and sometimes it's not even, they don't even have good time, they endure during the season because they don't want to go for admission. They endure, they're weak, strength is down, so many things happening, but this person is enduring because he doesn't want to go to the hospital. We don't want that. We want you to enjoy this period. And every festive period, every vacation of yours, we want you to enjoy it. So maintain good drug adherence. Very, very important. Benefits of drug therapy: reduction of blood pressure by 5 millimeter mercury, can decrease stroke by 34%, reduce ischemic heart disease by 21%, reduce dementia by 25 to 30%, reduce heart failure by 45 to 50%, and reduce all-cause mortality, cardiovascular mortality, and all-cause mortality. That is extremely important. All right, that we can, by reducing, by taking our drugs, you can reduce your blood pressure, you can reduce the risk of stroke, because when the blood pressure is controlled, the risk of stroke is reduced. When the blood sugar is controlled, when all the other risk factors are dealt with, the risk of stroke, risk of ischemic heart attack, dementia, and all of those things, they are reduced. And we need to know that, and we need to key into that. This will help us in no small measure. All right. So during the festive period, is it important, very important, that we still take ownership of our health and maximize the period. And I believe that things will go well for us. We'll stop here for now. Thank you very much for listening. Compliments of the season. God bless you. We're going to give room for questions and answers, interactive session now. But before we do, um, I will want Dr. Doye to just say one or two things if you have, and then the doctors in the house, you want to contribute, you want to say one or two things, nurses, medical practitioners in the house, please feel free, just raise your electronic hand and you will be given the opportunity. The host will unmute you and you will be given the opportunity to speak. Yes, Dr. Donye, please, over to you, sir.
Good evening, sir. Compliment of the season to everyone. I think the summary of what has been discussed today is just guiding our heart with all diligence, basically. And as it has been rightly put together, it's all about the lifestyle, okay? Avoiding food that will actually worsen the state of the heart. And we've heard about reducing use of salt intake, excessive seasoning, as it were, like that, the Maggies and the likes, use of alcohol, smoking, and things that we need to run away from. And even food in itself, too much of it can also may not be very good and well like that. Everything has to be taken in proportion, and to also embrace lifestyle like exercising, cutting down on use of alcohol as much as possible. So all of these things put together will actually help us to have a healthy heart going forward. And also, more importantly, for those of us that are on medications, to make sure we use our medication, very, very important, and to have our head checks and also our numbers. And I hope it will put us in a better place to have a great 2025 ahead of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Odoye. Compliment of the season to you once again, sir. Yes, so please, you want to contribute. If you're a medical personnel, you want to contribute, you can raise your electronic hand, please. If you have questions, you can raise your electronic hand, please. Um, um, I want to acknowledge the presence of Professor Fatai Badru. Thank you for attending. If you have comments or questions, sir, you can raise your electronic hand. The host will unmute you. And every other person in the house, we celebrate you at this time. Pa Richard Odutola, we celebrate you. Tom Ajayi, you're welcome. Uche Iregbu listening from Port Harcourt, we appreciate you. And every other person here, Daddy Adekunle Onofora, we appreciate you. Mama Ansa Ogu, Badejo Duja, and everybody, everyone will celebrate you. Thank you for attending. If you have questions, you have things you want to contribute, please raise your electronic hand. Thank you very much. Or you can put your questions in the chat box. We will answer your questions. Are there empirical? Okay. Host, can you help me unmute Prof. Fatai? Are there empirical evidence to substantiate the increased incidence of cardiac mortalities during the festive season? Yes, there are. Okay. Dr. Odoye, do you want to help answer this?
Yes, sir. I think
Actually,
the
we
answer.
talked about this during the first session, sir.
Exactly,
Yeah. So,
exactly.
Dr. Ben, you can go ahead. There are a number of people that did not attend the first session, but after this period, we will post it on our WhatsApp group. So if you are on the WhatsApp group, you can just access it. We'll repost the first lecture after this time out, and of course, we will repost. We will post this one also once it's made available to us. But the first one will be reposted. For you to join the WhatsApp group, you can contact any of the numbers that is on the chat box there, and then you will be given the opportunity to join, and then you can access the first lecture, the first part of this lecture. Yes, Dr. Donye, go ahead, sir.
Okay, sir. I think this question was answered during the first part of the presentation last week. So there are
Okay,
empirical data by
sorry,
American
Dr.
Heart
Donye.
Association.
Sorry, Dr. Donye. Hold on. I think Prof. Fatai Badra has been unmuted, so he can speak if
Okay, sir.
he wants to. Host, kindly help me unmute Prof. Fatai again so that he can have the opportunity to speak. All right,
Well,
go ahead,
good
sir.
evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. I joined the program actually late. I was talking about cardiac health.
Yeah.
And actually you had actually illuminated a lot of points. But the issue that I was trying to raise is the fact that there are quite a number of risks actually involved in festive season, actually sedentary work, lack of exercise, taking quite a number of fatty and all of that acid and all of that stuff, fatty acid, cholesterol and all of that stuff. And that watching African Magic or watching TV and all of that stuff, those are very important points. But I'm just wondering whether the prevalence, because really studies have shown that actually either within and outside this country, hypertension arrhythmias, cardiac arrhythmias, and so on and so forth, myocardial infarction, and so on and so forth, are becoming more. In fact, also known among younger adults, middle age adolescents, and so on and so forth. And people have said, is it because they see and all of that stuff? And yes, essential hypertension and quite a number of other things being known that were called. Especially, I was opportune to be in US for some years, and I know that in the American Art Association, there are quite a number of things that have been said, have been written over there. But I'm just asking and wondering, within Nigerian setting or sub-Saharan setting, can we really say that the incidence has actually increased or the prevalence? For a number of reasons, you have actually mentioned other non-chronic health conditions, that non-communicable disease that actually exacerbate their diabetic factors and so on and so forth, especially for those individuals who are actually known to be smoking, to be taking to some other things and so on and so forth. I would actually want to throw more light on that. Of course, we do know that in this part of the world, the issue of the health-seeking behavior, the issue of poverty, the issue of accessibility, affordability to healthcare delivery, there are issues really that we have to contend with. And for instance, we're talking about how many people actually talk about ordinary, even ECG, talk about even EEG. So how many people have even been trained to actually be able to interpret ordinary ECG result, talk to us about cardio and all of that. So I'm just wondering whether you'll be able to throw light on this area so that a large number of people will be able to also know a lot of other things to do. E.g., for instance, if an individual has a BP apparatus at home, why can't that individual be taught or be educated to know what and what to do? And if there is anything that requires to be escalated to other healthcare advanced professionals like cardiologists, that could be done. Those are some of the points I wanted to make. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
You, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay, Dr. Daniel, you can go ahead.
Okay, sir. Also, I think most of the points has been made by Prof. Earlier on, but just to actually agree with what Dr. Olusegun just discussed last week and this week, where I work primarily now, we've noticed that during this December, there's been a marked drop in the number of people who actually attend a cardio clinic. Unlike what we had from January to like November, the number has drastically reduced. And on the other side of it also, from the emergency, I think the last Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the bulk of the patients that presented to the medical emergency were patients who had related issues in where I work primarily now. So to an extent, I think the AHA, the American Heart Association, they have empirical data on it. I'm not too sure we have so much, but just the trend of events in this environment is also suggesting that that might not be too different from what is experienced at the other hand. And then with the belief of people also during festive season like this, they don't want to come to the hospital as it were like that. And also they want to hit as much as they can. And like you said earlier on that after this festive season, when people tend to return back to work, some people have increased weight, there's weight gain, which can basically be explained by the food intake over the holiday period. So basically, maybe what might be responsible factors that might be responsible for that might be a little bit maybe different from here compared to the other hand. Then I think our lifestyle, our belief system might also play a critical role in why people don't want to come around to the hospital, except when they're really, really critically ill is when they are forced to come around. But if it's still something they can manage with, they can cope with, they prefer to stay back at home and see how they can actually push through and then take care of themselves till much later in the new year. So I think there are empirical data, like you rightly said. And then you also talked about empowering the patients to know how to take care of their health. I think these are part of what we do in the clinic when they come around, how to use your sphygmanometer, educate you on what the systolic value should, the range of the systolic value, range for the diastolic value. So I think quite a number of people who come around to the clinic, at least I can say a number of them are taught how to actually know what value is too high, what value is too low, and how to also make adjustments about some of this their medications basically. So I don't know if Olusegun Joseph will have more to add to this, just to make it more robust. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Odoye. I mean, we cannot overemphasize it. A lot. All we just need to do is to just casually observe things going on in the society, and you can see a lot of the risk factors all around. A lot of the risk factors all around. I mean, food, joints, recreational areas with fast food establishments all around, and people flock those places. Like, I mean, it's a new thing in town, and every day, every moment, things are going on. I mean, these are all risk factors, and there's no. It's not surprising that as some of these things increase, the prevalence of hypertension increases, the prevalence of diabetes increases. Now we're talking of an increased prevalence of hypertension from what we used to have before, 22, 23% before. Now we're almost approaching 45. In some places it's 42, 43%. All right. Averagely, we're around 35% going to 40. This is not a coincidence. There are cause and effects. There are things that happen, and once they happen, you just begin to expect something else to happen. So these are things that are that we know for sure. I mean, is happening, and we what we want to achieve. I mean, in such and with such seminar like this is to educate people, just like the prof said. People need to be educated. Of course, education is important. When you are armed with the knowledge, then you can take better decisions, informed decisions, more healthy decisions, healthier decisions that will impact more on your health. And that's what we're talking about. Very, very important. Thank you. I think there are some questions in the chat box, but if you have questions you want to ask verbally, please raise your electronic hand so that we can attend to your question. Okay. Let me check the chat box while the. Is ginger herbal extra good for the heart? Thank you. Compliments of the season. All right, Dr. Danye, you want to help?
Yes, I didn't get the question. What, sir?
Is ginger herbal extract good for the heart?
Well, I think was part of what was said earlier today.
Yeah.
All of these things can be taken in a moderate proportion, not so much of it, and to actually substitute for the use of salt and other seasoning. But by and large, everything has to be in moderate proportion, not taking so much excessive quantity of most of all of these things. Thanks, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, so it's in moderation. I mean, it has to be. And then please, some people will take some of these things. You ask patients, and they say, "Oh, now I take ginger, I take garlic, I take this, I take that," and they drop their conventional drugs. Please, that is a pathway to cardiovascular complication. I can assure you that. And we have had a lot of stories. I'm talking from experience, and any sincere medical practitioner will tell you that these things, yes, they have their own. I mean, they're good. All right, they can, ginger can reduce your blood pressure a bit, but it will not do. For those who have, I mean, somebody who is taking, 3, 4 drugs, and you're battling to take, to still control his or her hypertension, drops everything and says, "I want to start taking ginger tea alone," or goes to somebody who says, "Oh, this is all encompassing, it will cure this." It's a lie. When complications come, those people that suggested that, if they ever come to greet the person involved in the complication, it is sorry. They won't say that they're part of the people who caused the problem. Please. All right, there are some lifestyle modification can reduce blood pressure. We've talked about it before. So you can go back, to our hypertension series, hypertension 1, 2, 3, 4. You will get all of those tips there. Okay, controlling your blood pressure, controlling your blood sugar and the rest. We've talked of tips to cardiovascular health. One, two, three. You can go through it. Cardiovascular continuum. One, two, three. You can go through all of those. These are things we have discussed. All right. You can take them as supplements. Yes, no problem. And even at that, please moderation. All right. Very, very important. Any other question? It's 8 o'clock. We need to begin to, round up now. So if you have any other question, you can put it down or you can raise your electronic hand so that you can be, attended to.
Then there's a question about which fruit is good for the heart.
Okay.
I don't know if I
All
can
right.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Yes, please.
Okay. So not just fruit alone, even vegetables and
Yeah.
like your banana, your oranges, vegetables that is where they have calcium, potassium, selenium, magnesium. All of these play a very crucial role in having a healthy heart, basically. So you can take variety of food, provided you are not diabetic. For those that are diabetic, those food that are very sweet, as it were, contain more glucose, that has more glucose content, should be kept on the side for those that are diabetic. But if you're not diabetic, you can actually explore a number of all the foods around you to actually maximize the nutrients in them.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Yeah. Any other question or comments you want to ask something or point something to our attention?
There's also
Something.
another question.
Yeah.
Thank you for the presentation. Please, I want to ask that the recommendation of castor oil, PP paraffin, etc. in the elderly to relieve constipation is common nowadays. If there are no risk factors that may lead to high blood pressure, do you advise that some oils can be used medicinally without any implication? Thank you, sir. I think the person is asking questions around the use of castor oil and the liquid paraffin for elderly person, and if it can be continued, if I understand the question.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Can
I think the
you?
castor oil I was mentioned earlier on was to help us manage our cholesterol level, as it were. There are oils that are very good, which will help to lower having the bad cholesterol, as it were, the olive oil and the sunflower oil and the rest of them like that. Though they might be a little bit expensive, but they help to actually also help control the cholesterol control. So the control is not just about taking tablets alone, also selecting, avoiding highly fatty diets, and also the oil too can also be very helpful in that regard. So, but using them medicinally, I think to an extent, the use of those oils to prepare your food is medicinal in helping you to control your cholesterol level. And I think it should just be used basically for that. And if it's prescribed for any other reason, like the liquid paraffin, for somebody who's constipated, you may also need to be sure of the cause of the constipation before just putting someone perpetually on liquid paraffin or castor oil, so that if there's any sinister thing that's causing the constipation, it can be looked into. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. So, if you're given castor oil as a treatment for your constipation, use it as prescribed by the doctor. And if you have any issues, please get across to your doctor. Let the doctor help you sort it out. That's just in addition to what Dr. Donya have said, which you are very, very correct. I think I saw the hand of Dr. Boye. Yeah, Dr. Adesanya Boye. Host, can you help us unmute Dr. Adesanya Boye? Yeah, I think I saw the hand of that person. You can go ahead and contribute or ask your question. And if there are any other questions, please.
Thank you, Doctor, for the wonderful. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can. I
Am I
can.
audible?
Yes, please go ahead,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you for the good lecture, sir. My question has to do with cholesterol. We have the good and we have the bad within the body. So while we are, how is it that one can improve when there's a measurement that says the good cholesterol is low. I don't know where I get my question, sir, because we have two types, the bad one. That's why you have to avoid so much of fatty things. If you have been there, I mean, if there's a test or result shows that the good cholesterol in the body is low, is it only medication that can bring it up, or are other things to bring such up? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. If you look at the slide I just put there now, you will discover that
Okay, I'm seeing it now.
exercise is one of the major ways by which you can increase your good cholesterol. The good cholesterol is the HDL, the high density lipoprotein. And exercise is a major way of improving it or increasing it, as the case may be. So engaging in exercise will increase your good cholesterol. And increase of this good cholesterol is a major factor when it comes to prevention of stroke, of heart attack, and so many other cardiovascular disease. So you don't even really need to spend money buying drugs to improve your your good cholesterol. Just increase your exercise level, and that on its own will help. Okay, there are other things, I mean, the nuts, the grains, I mean, the nuts, fruits, vegetables, the grains, some of these other things that we've talked about before can also help. But naturally, exercise will do a lot of good job in improving your HDL. Thank you very much, sir. I think
Thank you, doctor. Thank you very
you're
much.
welcome. All right. So somebody, I think there's can we share? Are there opportunities of sharing presentation of on Art Health, the previous presentations? Yes, we'll try. We'll share them again on the WhatsApp group. So if you are on the WhatsApp group, you will get them. Between today and tomorrow. We have had several sessions. We started this particular program 21st of January, and we usually hold it. I mean, once in 2 weeks, averagely once in 2 weeks. So we've had quite a number of episodes, okay? But we'll do our best to, put them down. And then they're also on YouTube. So if you type an hour with the cardiologist, and I mean on your YouTube, it will bring out quite a number of our previous ones. They were also on Telegram. All right. So if you contact that particular number, they will be able to send you the Telegram link as well. We're on Instagram. You can also get the links from there. And just to make sure that we cover grounds. And we're on Facebook as well. Amazing Heart Center. You can get it there. What's the effect of having different systolic readings within a couple of minutes? I took my reading 3 days ago. I got 140/74, and a few minutes I took it again, and it gave me 133/66. All right. And sometimes for some people, when they want to check their blood pressure, there's that anxiety. Hey, I don't know what it will read today. I don't know whether it's going to show me red. And that anxiety sometimes can make your blood pressure to go up, can make your pulse rate to go up as well. All right. And then the second reading can, may just be a bit down. Okay. Sometimes it's the anxiety. Sometimes the person is in a hurry. He has not settled down, or while the blood pressure stuff is attempting to do the reading, the machine is inflating the curve, so to speak. The person is still moving. Of course, there's going to be wrong measurement, so to speak, or some measurement that may not be exact. All right, and by the time you settle and you check it again, it's good. But what I tell people is this: if you measure correctly and you find out that maybe there is a sharp difference between the two readings or three readings, as it were, you just change your battery, put in a new battery. It may just be that the battery is the one that is faulty. Okay, change the battery, and then you may get something better. But no two blood pressures are ever the same completely. No, your heart is dynamic. The pressures, are dynamic as well. But the differences will not be much. But as a rule, we tend to take the higher one so that we can react, we can respond to it. We won't say, oh, 130 now, 130 over 70, okay, you can go. Meanwhile, what you got before is 140 over something. No, or 144 over something. Change the battery, do something else, and that'll be fine. All right. Thank you for the refreshing prayer. Permit me to join another. Okay, no problem. Thank you very much. All right, fine. So I think we have finished for the day, and I think that we have attended to all the questions and concerns of everyone. We will be having our next presentation second week in second Sunday, hopefully, in January. And God helping us, we will hopefully make it better,